and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we're going to bring some information to you about ride sharing and alternative ways to get to work that help the congestion and traffic in the area and also would reduce our air pollution. My guest is Jeff Fikes. Welcome.
Thank you.
And you are with Traffix,
yes,
which is a service of the HRT.
Yes.
So tell me why I should not drive my car to work every day.
Well, one thing that happens is when you drive your own car, you increase, one of the main things is you increase traffic congestion.
And that's getting bad around here, depending on where you are in Hampton Roads.
Yeah, it's very bad in a lot of areas. One of the highest congested areas is actually the Jefferson Boulevard Newport News corridor right there
really
off the 64.
Yeah, even where it's still 4 lanes, which is, you know, one of those things where it says, even if we build more lanes, it still gets bad.
Right. It fills up so fast. It can take you 20 minutes to go almost 2 miles in Newport News. So it's really bad. So one of the ways you can eliminate that, or at least reduce the congestion, is to share a ride.
Let me just throw at you some alternative viewpoints. You know, we're Americans, we love our own car. Maybe I want to stop at the grocery on the way home. Maybe I don't like riding with other people because they listen to different music than I do, or, you know, there's a lot of reasons people don't want to give up that independence.
Right, and that's a concern. And, you know, ride sharing is a great alternative for peak hour congestion. And it's not for everyone, but there are a lot of people that are not taking advantage of it when they actually can. We have a program called the New Ride Program that actually rewards commuters for sharing a ride.
Rewards us? See,
yes,
that's one of those motivation things. So how do we get the reward?
Well, what you do is it's free to sign up. You sign up for the New Ride Program. Anyone can sign up. They supply their email address. And what happens is when they sign up, they log their trips. So these trips convert to rewards. And there's about 10 companies, 12 companies, and they change all the time, that actually rewards commuters for sharing a ride, for being smart commuters.
Now, suppose I decide I want to do this, okay? I'm going to try ride sharing. How do I even go about finding compatible people whose schedules are the same as mine, who live in my area? I mean, it's a daunting task.
It is, but we've made it so simple, and it's a really good question. If you go to our partner, New Ride, it's www.newride.com.
New Ride spelled out N-E-W.
N-U-R-I-D-E.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
N-U-R-I-D-E.com.
N-U-R-I-D-E. And you can actually go on the website, and you can, before you even sign up, you can see commuters that live near you. Now, there's an image that comes up on Google Maps that shows little green bubbles of the actual people that are in the program already, that are going where you're going when you're going. And it shows whether they're a female, a male, a non-smoker, and you can email them anonymously, and they can get back with you and let you know if they'd be willing to share a ride with you. So it's very easy, very simple.
It's like a Craigslist kind of a thing, or
it's almost like more like Travelocity, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you say where you're going and where you live, and
right. And you can pick
some web algorithm matches you up.
Right. So you can pick. I am looking for someone within 2-mile radius of where I want to be picked up or dropped off. And it'll show you all those commuters that are in the system already that are doing just that.
Where are the people in this program, where are they? Are there some commonalities about where they're going to? I mean, to get enough people, you either have to be really lucky and find one of your neighbors who's working the same hours, the same place you are, or it has to be a place with enough workers. Like, I think downtown Hampton is almost there. Langley Air Force Base may be there. Probably the shipyard is the biggest place that's most known for commuting because so many people work there.
That is true, but you would be surprised. I'll tell you some of the places that are there. The shipyard, of course. Ferguson Enterprises, that's another one. ECPI, that's another one. Everest College, that's another one. City of Hampton. I mean, there's so many people that are in this system. I mean, I did a 2-mile radius just on the location here, and it came up with about 20 people.
Really? Because we're at the studio on Mercury Boulevard, kind of not a place where there's a lot of work traffic.
But there are people that live there. So with the New Ride program, you're going to contact the person that's actually going where you're going when you're going.
That's fabulous.
It is awesome.
So how many people are enrolled so far? Is that something you know?
So far, we're over 4,000 people in all of Hampton Roads.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What tips the scales? What makes someone go from I'm hesitant, I'm wary, and it might not be convenient to be in a committed ride sharing?
I think just the experience. They try it out, they sign up, they try it out, they see what it's like. They realize, oh my goodness, this is not that bad after all. They start saving money, they start reducing congestion, they start reducing fuel emissions, carbon footprint, and most of all, their wallets start to shrink because they're saving money on gas. So those are some of the things that help tip the scales.
I think, and this is one of the things I've heard from the decision makers, if you put a toll on the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, that's going to tip the scales for a lot of people. That is going to make a huge economic difference for people who drive through and commute, especially if the toll's higher at peak times. That will really make people, it will be that incentive that tips it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great incentive because people are going to realize that their wallets are being affected. And I'll say this much. If you ever want to change behavior, you get in a person's wallet. Watch this. You're going down the street. You get a ticket. You have to pay for that ticket. Every time you go down that street, what do? You slow down because they got in your wallet. Mm-hmm. So whenever something changes your wallet, you change your behavior. And when they increase the tolls or when the gas prices go up, we get a lot of calls.
Oh, I bet gas prices, like we're at a little bit of a lower point now, so people kind of calm down.
Yeah, but when it happens, our phones start ringing.
Now, what do you do? One of the things I think that makes people a little wary is, suppose I end up having to work late one day, and so that car is my cushion, or suppose the person I'm riding with is sick and it's their turn to drive, or maybe I've given up that extra car and I'm completely dependent on the other folks.
Yeah, that's another thing that people ask a lot of times, or they're hesitant to, but we have a program called the Guaranteed Ride Program. Now, this program is designed to offer an emergency ride twice a month for commuters that have an emergency. So let's just say you do have an emergency and you can't get to work, you can call us, we'll call a cab to take you back to your designated place of origin for just $3. And they can use it up to twice a month.
That's really good. I mean, twice a month is normal emergency. It's
Right.
not like once a year or whatever.
Right. And when we say emergency, we mean something that not like where, oh, I just don't want to ride with them today. That would be the day you choose to drive your car. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing is you're not locked in. You don't have to ride share every day, but it's an alternative to commuting.
So really, people don't have to commit to everything. They say on Thursdays, I'm always at the studio on Mercury Boulevard, so I have to drive.
Right.
I'm not at the office downtown.
Right.
So I could ride share maybe 3 days a week, or people do that?
People do that, and anything you do is going to make an impact. Imagine taking 15 cars off the road. What would that would do to congestion? It would be a great benefit to congestion. It would reduce it.
And I suppose it's not just congestion, it's road conditions. Fewer miles driven on those roads, they last longer in between resurfacing. I mean, there's savings in tax dollars here as well.
There's a huge impact and a ripple effect as people begin to take advantage of transportation alternatives. There's such a ripple effect all across the board. I'm working right now with, believe it or not, the Goodwill, and they have a program called Family Strengthening, where they invoke reduce, recycle, and reuse. And they're getting the employees to be involved with using transportation alternatives. And they have a lot of transit-dependent employees anyway.
Right, I was going to say they probably do.
They do, but those that are using their cars, they're getting them involved with that, and it's working out really well for them.
So when people ride share, do they take turns? Does the person who maybe never drives pay the other person, or do you even get involved in those details?
No, we don't get involved in that. We provide the interface for them to connect safely, and they can determine how they want to work that out. But those are some great options where they do share, or they can share, and it just works out really well. It's been done in DC for years.
Oh, it has.
Yes.
And again, I think the traffic and the HOV lanes have changed that picture, that people who didn't think they would ride share are now what they call sluggers.
Yes, which is a huge success. It was a grassroots effort to reduce congestion, to reduce times getting to work, and you just pull up to a designated place and yell out the window where you're going, and whoever gets in, you never even know them or never seen them before. They take you there, you drop them off, you pay them, and that's it. And it works really well. But we've taken that a next step, and we provided the web interface so you can actually see the profile of people that you're wanting to ride with.
And that that's helpful in Hampton Roads because it's not like everyone is going to one central location. I mean, maybe more people go to the Navy base than and the shipyard, but it's a web, and so we have more and more people who live on one side of a bridge tunnel and work on the other. I know there's a lot of people in City Hall who drive in from other places, and you're trying to work on that as well. You were calling on us about City Hall, and I said, hey, let's talk to the general public out there and get more people aware of these options.
Well, when I do on-site promotions, I'm amazed at the amount of people that are not aware of what's available to them as a free service. And they're amazed too, and they're like, oh my gosh, I never knew this existed. So it's a good service.
So who pays for this service? If it's free to me, someone's paying for it, right?
Everybody's paying for it. It's a state program, so it's tax dollars basically.
So and the reason the tax dollars are involved are because of those greater initiatives. It saves money on roads, it reduces traffic congestion. There's a savings benefit that offsets what it's costing to run your program.
They consider that a public benefit.
Well, public health too. I mean, really, you look at air quality and air pollution, and Hampton Roads is one of those areas where things have been ticking up, and you don't want that. You know, people with asthma, you want to have a good, clean, safe environment. So.
Right. And another big thing is the carbon footprint issue. It's reducing the carbon footprint, and a lot of companies are mandated to do that. This is one way large companies can get involved by providing this service for their employees. So that's a lot of the companies that I call on are businesses in Hampton Roads.
And they have an economic incentive to do it as well.
Yes.
I imagine it also sort of increases reliability. I mean, people who are on a schedule, who are picking up other people, there's a little community there, and you show up when you're supposed to, which may be an issue sometimes for some employees, especially if your transportation's unreliable and you can't always get to work on time. This would help.
Right. It makes a big difference, and people really understand how it works once they get involved with it. It's like if you never had pistachio ice cream, you don't know what it tastes like.
Right, it's green, it looks funny.
Exactly, but as soon as you taste it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So how does this fit in with, and I know you're really just in Traffix, but with the rest of the complement of things that HRT has and promotes for?
Well, actually, it's a full service. So, HRT provides the buses, which is your transit, and then Traffix is a service of HRT, which provides a transportation alternative. So it's not...
Because there are people who just don't want to use a bus or aren't on a bus line or aren't at the right time and place for that.
Right. So we kind of use Traffix as a full complement umbrella to service all the public. And it actually works out very well. And those that are using walking, riding a bike, taking the bus, they can all apply for the new ride program, and they can be accepted.
Yes. Tell me that. I do ride my bike when I can, because I don't live that far. My work hours are very irregular, but I do try to ride, when the weather's good and I don't have to go to a meeting off-site.
Those trips that you take to work with your bike count.
Cool.
Yes.
I love rewards.
Yes. Walking counts.
Walking is a good thing.
Yes.
I look at it and I think just too far and I'll be all sweaty and gross, but I used to walk that far to junior high school every day. It's just, I'm out of the habit and I'm in a hurry, and there can also be that benefit to slowing down. I mean, it feels good to ride my bike home. It clears my mind. It's a little bit of a break. It's a little less stressful. Sometimes it's a little stressful. I guess it depends on the traffic and the amount of people around me. But
well, one thing we've done as a society is we've sat down more in our lives than ever before. Computers, our jobs, everything is digital, so we don't get exercise. And to get out and ride your bike or to walk, my wife and I try and walk periodically. We try to make it a regular basis. She does. But we get so busy sometimes.
It's hard.
You just have to plan it. And that's one thing that the transportation alternatives you have to invoke with is planning. So if you plan your day, you can be successful with Traffix.
And that's true in any sort of program, whether you're planning to walk or ride or whether you're planning to share with somebody. It is thinking ahead and making a little bit of a commitment and a decision.
Right, and it's less stressful when you do it that way, actually. I heard one young lady say, don't get stressed, get prepared.
Well, and the thing is, you may not notice the financial savings right away, but over the long run, if nothing else, your car lasts 2 or 3 more years. I mean, there's just a lot of economic benefits that you may not count those coins in your pocket right away, but they will add up.
Well, if I looked at a month's worth of ride sharing, I could pretty much cut my commute costs in half. And that's like a cell phone bill.
Yeah.
And we all know those are a pain to have to pay everybody. And it's roughly $100, $130 a month. You can save more than that ride sharing. So it makes a big impact.
Wow, that's great. Okay, well, as we wrap up, is there anything I've forgotten to ask or anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think you've covered it all. We're just here to help and here to provide a solution for the community.
Great. And so tell us again that web address, and we'll see if we get put up
Well,
on the screen.
our website is gohrt.com, and all
Right,
the
that's the
information
main
is there
one.
for Traffix under services. And then the new ride program is nuride.com.
Okay.
And they can get all the information there.
All right. Well, thank you for coming by, Jeff.
Thank
I think
you for
really
having me.
most people don't know about this. And as the cost of commuting gets more and more expensive, more people will likely be logging onto your site to try
I
to
hope
find
so.
some alternatives. Thank you. And I hope we've taught you a little bit about some options you might have to save some money and do some ride sharing or other alternative ways of getting to work. Thank you for watching.